Hello, my friends. Assalamu alaikum. Today I plan to tackle a very important question, and that is what is the final destiny of human beings? I mean, our journey began at a specific point, which is referred to in Quran in verse 172, chapter 7. And now we will be exploring as to where this will finally end. And I am pretty sure this question must have arisen in many people's minds, and that is the reason I thought we must address this to the best of our ability. My friends, before I continue further, let me repeat the question again, just to ensure that we are all on the same page. The question is, what will be the final destiny of those who have passed the test of life according to Allah's plan? So let's begin, my friends. Before we reach certain conclusions in this regard, let me try to put everything related to this question in perspective. First of all, we need to be very clear in our understanding at the very beginning that we are actually souls, not bodies. Our true identity is souls. For further details regarding the concept of self, please read the relevant chapter of the Grand Scheme of God in the light of Quran. This book will provide you sufficient details as to what we actually are. Is that good, my friends? Wonderful. Let's continue. For the sake of addressing this question, please remember that we are souls. That is our true identity. Body is merely our carrier. It's not I or you. I hope that is clear. The next question is, where were we created by God or Allah? On this earth or somewhere else? My friends, it is very clear from the Quran that we were actually created in the actual order of existence. That is, outside our present universe, and it was there that our Creator took covenant from us. This covenant is mentioned in chapter 7 of Quran, verse 172. For your convenience, let me read the translation. When your Lord asked all the offspring of Adam before their birth, "Am I not your Lord?" all of them testified and bore witness to their testimony that on the day of judgment they would not say, "We were not aware of this fact." So my friends, it is very clear from this verse that human beings knew who their Creator is at the very beginning of their life. I may also mention here that our present universe was created by God within the actual order of existence for a specific period. Once again, my friends, you will have to go through the book, The Grand Scheme of God in the Light of Quran, to understand the details. My intent in this talk is to keep things brief and address the main question, and that is, what will be the final destination of those human beings who passed the test of life? Now the next question. My friends, I am talking about these questions to put everything in perspective. So don't think I am just tackling these questions for no reason. So let's handle the next question. What is the purpose of our creation? My friends, according to the Quran, the fundamental purpose of human life is to worship Allah and serve Him alone. This is mentioned in chapter 51 of Quran, verse 56. Allah says, "And I did not create the jinn and mankind except to worship me." My friends, in simple words, to submit before Him or to become His abd, His man, it is important that we must understand how would that happen. Of course, it is only possible once we recognize God, because it is that recognition of God which will then lead to submission. So, the submission will be the natural consequence of Allah's recognition. My friends, let me say a few words here. Allah has equipped us with all the abilities, with all the things we need to identify our Creator. I hope you have understood this point. Let's continue. Now, what is life? Life is a test. Life is described as a test or trial where humans are given free will to make choices that either align with Allah's guidance or deviate from it. The Quran in chapter 67 verse 2 states, "He who created death and life to test you as to which of you is best indeed, and He is the exalted in might, the forgiving." My friends, life is about making the right choices and showing steadfastness in faith, patience during hardship, and gratitude in times of ease. My friends, let's try to understand the concept of test in worldly sense now. I mean, how we understand the concept of test in our daily life. My friends, we go through so many tests in this life, and based on those tests, we get rewards or promotion in various forms. Sometimes we are promoted to the next grade. For example, if I am studying in grade 7, when I pass the test, I am moved to grade 8. And this philosophy actually is very much visible in almost every aspect of our life wherever we have tests. I hope you would agree with that. So my point is, you can see many such examples in our life. My friends, the general concept of test in this word is that when a person passes a particular test, he or she gets assigned certain specific responsibility. For example, when we appear in higher examinations, I mean professional examinations, we are assigned certain responsibilities. My friends, there is no test in our life which merely results in enjoyment and no responsibility. Rather, the basic purpose of test is to test the ability of the individual so that he or she can be assigned a specific responsibility. Let me summarize that again, my friends. The purpose of tests in this word is to assign people certain specific responsibilities. I hope that is clear now. Let's move on. If that is our concept of test in this life, I mean for our daily life purposes, then how can God do something which doesn't fit into this kind of understanding or thinking pattern? I hope that makes sense. My friends, the general concept among Muslims about the test of life is that those who will pass the test of life will simply live in paradise forever. But my friends, this concept is not in line with the message of Quran. The Quran calls paradise nuzul, which means initial feast. And then Quran also tells us that paradise and hell will be for a specific period. Let me quote a verse from Quran in this regard. This is from chapter 46, verses 2 and 3. Allah says, "The revelation of the book, that is this Quran, is from God, the Almighty, the All-Wise. We created not the heavens and the earth and all that is between them, except with true purpose and for a specified term. But those who disbelieve turn away from that whereof they are warned. My friends, I will request you to please go through the book, the grand scheme of God in the light of Quran, to understand the details of what I am sharing very briefly. This will make things very easy for you to understand. Please read the chapter on the permanent word to understand what I have just shared. My friends, it is very clear from Quranic verses that the paradise and hell will finish one day. Human beings will exist in these places in the same bodily form as they existed on earth, because all these events are happening in this universe. I mean, everything is happening in this great universe which has 7 units. To understand the concept of 7 units, you will have to again read the relevant parts of the book. Anyway, my friends, once this phase is over, I mean the phase of heaven and hell on this universe, my friends, once this phase is over, the successful will actually go back to the actual order of existence, I mean where we were created in the first place. This means that we will go back to the actual order of existence in our true form, that is soul. That is what we truly are. My friends, the Quranic verses indicate that the successful souls will be in the company of Allah. For instance, in chapter Surah Al-Qamar, Allah informs us about the ultimate triumph. Translation: in an honorable seat near a sovereign, omnipotent king. My friends, being in the company of Allah will be the ultimate form of pleasure or reward any soul could experience or imagine. This cannot be explained in words. Words simply cannot explain that ultimate reward or pleasure a human being, I mean the soul, will experience in the company of Allah. My friends, based on common sense, it appears that angels also underwent a similar kind of examination before human beings, and it was perhaps based on their result that they were assigned different responsibilities in Allah's actual order of existence. How their test took place, where it took place, we do not know. But we know surely one thing, and that is Allah doesn't do anything randomly. After all, we see different angels have different status. For example, we have angels like Gabriel, who is extremely close to God. His closeness to God must be based on some criteria. That's what I am trying to say. And we have other angels who are performing other tasks in this universe, including those who are sitting on our shoulders and writing our deeds. My friends, it appears that Allah will assign us some tasks to perform, just as angels are performing various tasks. My feeling is that the assignment of the nature of tasks will be based on how well we performed in the test of life. My friends, this will be our destiny at the end of this test. I hope it makes sense. Thank you and Assalamu Alaikum.